Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuned In. We're so happy that you're with us. Today, my friend Joe and I are going to be talking about some of the cool things that we saw at CEDIA last week. And wow, what an incredible show! I want to bring Joe in. Hey, buddy, how are you?
David, my friend, it's great to see you. How you feeling?
Wow, really good. My head's kind of spinning from last week. We saw so much stuff, and I got to tell you, we started at about 7 in the morning, and then Joe had us finishing up somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning. He has got more energy than the Energizer Bunny, and while I appreciate it, I got home and I had to go to bed for a day or so.
But I do have the maturity of a 5-year-old as well, so there's that.
Well,
Uh,
let's hop right in
let's do
and,
it.
and just talk about a few of our favorites that we saw at the show.
You want to lead us off?
Sure, yeah. First off, we had the privilege and the honor. These speakers have been around, what, Joe, 30 years now or so. And We've,
32.
we've talked about them over the last few shows. You know what blows me away, Joe? The speaker's been around this long, and not that many people have heard it.
Yeah. And it's essentially unchanged and sounded great.
Yeah, so this is a four-way speaker from Bowers and Wilkins called the Nautilus. It's been around for 30 years without a lot of need for change, really. Joe pointed out while we were there that this is a completely boxless speaker, and that is exactly what it sounded like. It's just, it's a remarkable speaker. Hopefully, we'll have this at Gramophone and Worldwide soon.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to demo this for customers. We've got some events coming up, including Capital Audio Fest, and we're going to do our best to be able to show it there and play it for people. So, yeah,
That's
we're
going to be
primed for
so
that.
cool. I
Yeah.
can't wait. I'm looking forward to it because it's been such an elusive speaker to actually hear. So it's going to be a lot of fun seeing all of the fans that have been wanting to hear these speakers actually be able to take a listen to them and seeing what they're all about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you noted when you listened?
Just like you said, Joe, the absence of the box,
Yeah.
everything was just, the layering was incredible. The bottom end was just as tight as you could get it. Um, it's always kind of weird when you're listening to speakers in a room that's not really optimized to listen to speakers. But I think the guys did a fantastic job setting the speakers up and demoing them. And I don't know about you, Joe, but I walked away duly impressed. How about you?
Absolutely. I'd never heard them before in the 32 years they've been out, and I was so delighted I got to hear them.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
really surprised about that. That's what I'm saying. It's like even you, like most people, you would think, okay, at least if they're, kind of deep in the industry, they've heard them. But for some reason, they've kind of kept them a big secret. I think it's because of just production. I was talking to Kevin and he was going, last year, if somebody would have ordered one of these, it would have taken them 2 years just to get them. So, it's nice that they picked up the production now, and it's not going to take nearly as long to get these things.
yeah, they've doubled their production capacity. You want to move on to the second most impressive thing?
What do you got, Joe?
So you were able to line up with your good friend Kathleen Thomas at Sony, a tour of their booth, which was great. She really talked a lot about how deeply connected Sony is to the custom channel because they had custom product in the sense even before Cydia was a thing back in 1990 or so was the first Cydia show. But she talked a little bit about something that's coming, and that's the Sony RGB technology. For all of our listeners out there in gramophone and worldwide stereo land, you know that the TV technology has incredibly improved over the last 10, 20 years or so. Well, the next wave she was describing is probably the coolest thing that's coming since 4K hit the market. Basically, RGB technology is something that Sony's been working on for 20 years. It's not ready. We didn't see a prototype. This is a next year at the earliest thing, and it may not even be priced in a way next year. It may be an early adopter pricing thing. But when it comes, basically what they're working on doing is all those LED backlights that are kind of behind the screen that you can't see. They're going to have about 4 times the amount of backlighting as what they've had before, and it will be in color. So everything about
Not black and white.
not black and white, but currently, of course, yeah, they're lit up in the back in white, right? I mean, that's, it's a traditional lighting sort of thing behind what we're seeing on screen. So that lighting is going to become actually, red, green, blue, and so forth. And kind of the bottom line is that everything at that stage of the game will get better. The colors will be better. The brightness will be better, and even the off-axis viewing. So, imagine a bunch of your friends, David, come over for the Rose Bowl or the Super Bowl or whatever. Those folks who are kind of off to the sides, not seated in the comfy chair, they're going to have a really good look as well. So if I was buying a TV right now, I would absolutely go ahead and buy the best of today's technology because it's the best it's ever been. But at some point in the future, these RGB will not only be remarkable, but eventually they will start trickling down to the more affordable prices.
Imagine that, Sony being a leader in video.
Wild, isn't it?
I want to throw out a special shout out to Kathleen Thomas, who took us through the booth. She was absolutely delightful, and boy, does she know her stuff or what?
What a great lady, David. And we'll have our video of that posted on YouTube probably tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think next up, you ready to just move right along?
Do it.
The next up is something that over the last 4 or 5 years has become close, near and dear to my heart. It's a company called Theory Audio, and you may have never heard of them. I certainly hadn't about 4 years ago. And a friend of mine, Mark Goldman, at the time he was their national sales manager, and this was at a CEDIA about 4 years ago. And he kept saying, Dave, you got to come in and listen to my new speakers. Well, guess what? I've heard 8 million speakers in my lifetime, and the least thing that I wanted to hear was another pair of speakers. But I relented, and I thought, well, he's my friend. I should at least go in there for 5 minutes to listen. So I did, and I was totally blown away. So I went and listened the next year. And I went and listened the next year because honestly, I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. The third year, I bought a set. I could not believe what these speakers sounded like. Now, these guys they really are mostly, or have been in the past, I would guess 99% home theater or professional reinforcements. Like it's not a really high-end stadium. These guys are putting hundreds of these speakers in there. But the cool thing is they just absolutely no limit. Joe was able to sit in through the demo. I was going, Joe, you've got to sit in to for this demo because I think it's like one of the coolest demos I've ever heard. And so we really haven't talked a lot about it since you saw the demo. What did you think? What did you think?
Yeah, so really what happened, I think, is Paul Hale spent about 10 years or maybe more in the high-end 2-channel world, refining the detail he could get from a speaker, moved into, as you said, David, the pro audio world where it was all about output. And after a couple of decades of that, started realizing, hey, if I can engineer a product that marries high output with detail, I'll have a stone cold winner. And boy, do they. We've got them on display here, I know, in the Timonium location, and they just sound fantastic.
My favorite part of the demo, I mean, you would not believe the actual output that this system is capable of. I was clocking it on a decibel meter, and it didn't sound like it. I mean, it was really, really impactful. But at one point, I was reading 124 dB peak, which I don't recommend necessarily in your own home, but just the ability to be able to do this completely blew me away. My very favorite part of the demo, because you guys have probably you've probably seen some advertisements or some articles about this $1 million home theater. Well, that's what this thing sounds like. It sounds like $1 million home theater. But when it came around to talking about pricing, one of the things that were really interesting or funny is Paul was going, oh, well, we would like to show you our $1 million home theater. And at that point, I think most of the crowd is thinking, wow, this is $1 million. Well, so Paul shows the system that he's playing at that particular point, and then a house that I think it cost somewhere around 700,000 or something. So, I mean, it was really, so that was Paul's $1 million system. It was the system that he had, and I think it was just about the same system that you're looking at now. And then a house beside it, and okay, well, this is our $1 million system. So super, super entertaining guy, incredible demo with some speakers that totally sonically blew me away. So I'm trying to talk to these guys about getting into 2-channel because they're really good in 2-channel. I have been thoroughly enjoying mine. So that was theory.
David, when you hear high volume output with low distortion, it doesn't really sound that high volume, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I was at a concert last year, and there was a big. I had to be about $1 million JBL PA, and it was the same way. This thing was so loud, but it was just so impactful and clean, and so it didn't sound loud, although it was way, way up there.
Well, let's talk about Just Video Walls, because we just posted our video on Just Video Walls. And really, David, when you think about it, there comes a point where, 55-inch or so TV, great, 65, 75, now you're getting into a really big screen. There comes a point where you can no longer even easily carry it into a home for mounting on the wall, right? Well, with Just Video Walls, this is a TV that can be virtually anything you want. They can scale up to almost any size. And in fact, we've got a picture on the screen right now of Skylar, the guy who did a great demo for us at Just Video Walls, standing in front of a 217-inch diagonal screen. You can't believe how big the thing is. And the astounding thing to me was with CEDIA show lighting, anybody who's ever been at a professional, an industry trade show knows that the lighting is about at the brightness level of your local grocery store. So glaringly bright. And yet we're looking at a gigantic screen that's colorful, has detail, has sharpness. They're playing kind of sports kind of things that don't have any lag to them. I was super impressed. In addition, they've got a really easy to understand GUI. And as you know, David, any product that's easy to understand how to work it, you will use it more often. And you can put up to 5 different screens. So you can be there with your family while the little kids are watching, Toy Story or whatever's keeping them entertained. And you can be monitoring a couple different football games or baseball games, whatever you like at the same time. For me, Just Video Walls was the sleeper of the show. I didn't realize how cool it was until I saw it. And again, we just posted our video on Just Video Walls.
Yeah, the cool thing on my side, I'm not even a video guy. I mean, I watch video from time to time, but we walked into this room, and this wasn't the screen Joe and I saw. It was a bit taller and not quite so wide, but it looked like you could just jump into the screen. Yeah, I mean, it's getting scary good, guys, out there for home theater and video. A lot of creative people, and these guys are certainly, I'd say they were way up there on the creative scale. How about you?
Yes, sir. And Skylar did a great professional job with his presentation. You want to dive into the cool new stuff from BlueSound?
BlueSound is, I mean, I think just under Sonos that these guys have got the most subscribers. It's an incredible system. If you guys don't know about it, BlueSound, they make great streamers, and then they make great streamers within their product. Well, something that's been super near and dear to my heart for obvious reasons is Connect. And when Qobuz launched in May at the Munich show, they had, I think, about 80 some odd partners with Connect, and BlueSound was really, really busy doing other things because, wow, this company, talk about going in 15 different directions. This company goes in 15 different directions, and they just always deliver. They always deliver great stuff, and they never do things before they're ready to do it. Well, they were finally ready, and they've just made the announcement that they're now Qobuz Connect. So now for about I think their Nano, the little bitty unit on the bottom, is going for about $300. So now you can hop into BlueSound, the BlueSound ecosystem, for around that. So yeah, to me, this was huge, and now they've got the whole Qobuz community that can now use Connect. If you don't know what Connect is, let me just tell you really quick, so that this segment doesn't pass you by. But basically, there are three streaming services that use the Connect function right now. One of them is Tidal. One of them is um,
Spotify? No.
Qobuz, and then the other one is Spotify.
Yep.
So there's three right now, and here we consider those, because of this feature, the three prominent streaming services. So now all three of those services are featuring Connect, which means, like, if you're using Qobuz, you can open the Qobuz app, point the app to whatever streamer you want. Let's say it's a BlueSound unit. You choose that, and then you do all of the functions straight from the remote, or straight from the app of Spotify, Tidal, or Qobuz. It makes it a lot easier, and really the big advantage is there's no apps that can do everything that all of those three services can do. So it gives you really a lot more ability to have better control. Also, when you're in, say, one room and then you go to another room and you connect to your next piece, you just basically start from where you started. So it's really
Yes.
a cool feature.
People just love being able to do it natively, David, because it saves you some steps. And MD Chaz, our friend from a couple of podcasts now, says, finally, just this one word comment, finally. Is that all right if we move on to the Crestron Sivo?
No, I still want to talk about Blues. No, yes. Let's
David, you and I will have to do a streaming-based podcast in the very near future, okay?
Right. Yeah, I think we'll do that.
So,
Charlie, can you? Oh, here it is. Boom.
Yeah, no, he's got it. So I did not expect to be talking about a remote. There's been 1,000,001 remotes in the last 30, 40 years in consumer electronics. But let's think about what people don't like. Generally, people don't like a great big heavy remote. And this one, called Sivo from Crestron, is very compact. Generally, people don't like 1,000,001 buttons because that kind of confuses them. But if you take all the buttons off, sometimes people aren't that comfortable just with a visible screen either. They actually want some buttons. This remote might be the coolest we've seen in terms of, number one, physically compact, feels great in your hand. Number two, has the basic buttons that you want, of course, volume up and down, power on and off, track, move from one to the next kind of thing. But it also has, if you look at the top of this picture that Charlie so kindly put up there, it's got this mini little touch screen where you can directly access your favorite services. So ESPN and Prime Video and the Disney Channel and so forth, you can just kind of swipe them as though it's your smartphone. Everybody's swiping on these devices.
So the top button, Joe, that's a screen.
That's right. At the very top, there's the power on off, which you would expect at the upper right, but right below it, that's a little screen.
Yeah, it kind of looks like on the picture, it just looks like a button that's got Netflix on it, but you can swipe through that.
Yes, you can just swipe to the next, ESPN, whatever, if you're a sports fan like me. So, Crestron has been doing great remotes as a part of their control systems for a long time, but this one is almost a leap forward by being a leap back. It's like so simple and easy to use that I didn't need for the fellow who was showing us what was going on to really coach me on it. I got it right away. So we're going to have a lot of fun selling that remote to our customers.
That's a big plus, Joe. That's such a great point. If you look at some of the AV receivers these days, it looks like you need to know how to code to use them. And then you go just the opposite of that, and then you see like a TiVo remote. It's got like 4 buttons on it. You're going, well, where's this button? Where's that? You're absolutely right. This looks like just the perfect amount of buttons.
It kind of nails it. Yeah. You want to talk Sonance?
Sonance was one of the coolest demos that I saw. these guys are into experience, and they made a video. It's too long to show, but the video was like, oh well, this is kind of what a normal set of in-wall speakers gets you. You know, it's kind of sound from one area, and it's really not that comfortable. I actually had the privilege of going through the Sonance factory about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and the whole thing totally blows you away because they talk about um, sound and development, and then once you go from two speakers to sound all around you, they show you just how much more comfortable it is, and it is. You walk around all spaces, and everything's pretty much the same volume, and it's just comfortable. And then the next thing they talked about was lighting. So they're really combining lighting and sound to create these environments that are just very comfortable. The video they showed just totally blew me away. These are people that think about the way that you live, and they make products and scenes of these products to really help you make life kind of just more pleasant.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You done with the Sonance one? You want us to move on, or?
I think so. You want to?
Okay. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Josh AI. So what I'm going to talk to you about now is not really a product exactly, but the first thing is I was so impressed that the person doing the Josh AI demo for us was Alex Capisulatro. He's one of the two guys who founded that company, and he's still very, very active in it. So I was impressed that the CEO was the guy giving us our presentation. Second thing was, you've seen presentations, David, that were pretty good, some that were okay. You've seen a few bad ones. This was a great presentation. It was so professional and polished and refined. And one of the things that stood out for me while he was presenting, so those who might not know, Josh AI is a control system that we represent that people really seem to love to use. They noticed, he talked about during their surveys, so they're a very high touch company, right, David? They do what good companies should do. They stay in touch with customers and look to constantly improve and evolve their products. They realized that about half of their customers had no scenes for control set up. So they were having to do each thing that they wanted to do individually. So they said, how can we solve this problem for our customers, even though our customers aren't really asking us? And what they concluded is, let's do some template scenes. They worked out what things typically naturally go together. So now, not only when your Josh AI system is set up, is it programmed by your custom installer, in this case, Worldwide Stereo or Gramophone, so that you're ready to roll, but they've got some built-in scenes that really take care of what you want to take care of. I just thought that was a fantastic way for a company to really demonstrate how they care about the customer by figuring out ways in which it wasn't getting used, in which it could have been, and delivering a solution.
Is there an automation company that has grown faster than these guys? I don't think so. They only came on the scene a few years ago, and they are like a total blaze. This company, the people that work there must be just incredible, incredible workers, because I'm totally impressed with this system.
And one of the coolest things about it is that people get irritated when they say something and now 20 seconds or 20 minutes later, right, they get an advertisement on their phone. That doesn't happen with Josh voice control, because they've worked out a seamless way to transmit the information where it's not taking your personal IP address out to the cloud. Very impressive.
They're even better than that. You talk about a product, most of the time you just get an advertisement. These days you talk about the product, and then somebody's knocking on your door going, hey, here's a delivery. No, they don't do that. That's a great point, Joe.
It won't happen with Josh. It can't happen with Josh. It doesn't work that way.
That's awesome. That sounds like the kind of system that I need. I'm super paranoid of everything listening to me, but not that I'm even that interesting. However, I would prefer to keep those conversations private.
You want to talk about Apex and our friend Jimmy Paschke?
We are, but instead of doing it the normal way that I'm going, oh, I'm so impressed with this, Joe did a little short that I'd like to hear, and then we'll talk a little bit about this, because this is an area that a lot of people just don't understand or even take into consideration when they're buying all of this really great audio or video gear. There's all kinds of nastiness on our lines that we really need to take care of. And if you do, this ends up making your system sound much better. Depending on how bad your power is, it'll sound much better. Depending on how bad your power is, the video will end up looking a ton better as well. So I'm just going to play this quick little short just to kind of give you an idea of what these guys are doing, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. Oh, that's not it.
That's okay. We got it in
I'm Joe
in
with
the deck.
Gramophone, and today we're going to actually show you what treating dirty power is all about. Vince from Apex, take it away.
The sine wave is misshapen. This is the power that's coming here to the convention center. We have about 200 millivolts of peak-to-peak noise.
So now what he's going to do is he's going to just plug the signal that we were just watching, that super dirty, all that pink stuff was just noise on the line. So he's about to plug the source right into the Apex power conditioner, and then we'll see what's happening.
Vince, are you going to be able to help definitive?
As you can see, when we use voltage regulating technology in our UPSs combined with an isolation transformer, the sine wave is perfect and the noise is gone.
Okay, you see that, right? I mean, I really wanted to get some pictures, but we were all kind of excited about what we were seeing, and I don't think we got any pictures of it. It was just the video, but you could kind of see, not kinda, the pin was all over the oscilloscope, which was just measuring basically dirty power, which translates into bad picture or bad audio, or not as good. You could see how much it cleaned it up there. And so I walked away from this thing, Joe. There was 2 or 3 products that, when you go to CEDIA, you always want something. Well, I wanted the Nautilus, can't afford them. I want the Josh AI. I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to afford that.
You
But I
can.
can afford this Apex, and guess what's going in my system like ASAP? I was just totally blown away. There are so many line conditioners out there, power conditioners, that kind of thing, that you just don't get this kind of performance with.
That's right. And, audiophiles will spend pretty serious money sometimes on a product that will give you that truly black background that we all are seeking. And if your power is dirty, you can't get it. Doesn't work that way. You got to have clean power. So I'm also excited about Apex and want one in my system. Should we move on to the SL-50 or any more comments?
We should. We got about 2 minutes, and we want to wrap it up. I do want to say a little something about where I am right now, but let's talk about this. This was super exciting.
Let me bang through this new table. So Technics, since they came back in 2015 or so, have been making some really impressive consumer grade tables. They never left the DJ world, but in the consumer grade tables, they stopped for a while. They're making some fantastic ones. This is a product in the SL-50C that's priced under $1,000 retail at $899. It has the same coreless motor that you get in some of their better turntables, so you virtually can't get cogging. Sometimes audiophiles say, I don't want a direct drive turntable. That might give me cogging. This motor can't. So now they've simplified some things, like, for example, the bass that you see there is made from MDF as opposed to what their more robust and more costly tables are made from. But they've put some really solid feet underneath it. They've engineered the feet so that vibrations won't be a problem. It comes with a nice tone arm and with the Ortofon 2M Red installed already, so you're good to go there. This table will do 33, 45, and 78, which kind of blew me away. It's got a really nice platter that, again, we'll have in a video that should be out within about the next 2 weeks. All that, and with the tuned feet and so forth, under $1,000. I don't see a scenario in which Technics doesn't sell a pretty good number of these tables, because so many people aspire to a $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 turntable, but if under $1,000 is your price point, with the phono cartridge, you're good to go.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Joe. There's so many tables out there that, people that don't really have a lot of experience with vinyl, a lot of these guys will go out there and buy a Crosley or some, really cheap table. This is about where a good turntable starts. I think it was like $8.99.
Yes, sir.
That's a really good spot for a beginner turntable. If you're
Yep.
going to go much further below that, you may just want to wait and save your money a little bit, because you don't want to burn through your vinyl. If your turntable costs $900, if you have any kind of a record collection, let's just say 100 albums, there's $4,000, $3,000 in that thing. So your vinyl collection is going to end up being so much more expensive than your turntable. Start off right with something like this, and I think you'll be a lot happier.
You bet, David. Can you tell us, by the way, where you're broadcasting from today? Because you're not in Atlanta.
I am not. I am at the new worldwide stereo. It's just absolutely beautiful. I wish I didn't get here until just, maybe a couple hours ago, and I wish I would have taken a few pictures of it. But search us on the web, the new worldwide Wayne location, and you'll see some really, really cool pictures. It is absolutely gorgeous. And then tomorrow and the next day, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be here playing a bunch of music and having a good time with our customers. And, one of the coolest things that I can tell you they have here, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Snacks. We have snacks. We have good snacks everywhere. And, they're yours. They're yours for the taking if you come.
Now, I know that this has been the second worldwide stereo location's been in the planning stages for a long, long time, at least 3 years now. That maybe not that long, but I mean, it's ready to go. And I'm told, I haven't been there yet, I'm told it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, we hope all of you can get out there if you're anywhere near Philadelphia area, and you can get to the Wayne location.
Come and join us tomorrow and Saturday, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you. Joe, I think that does it for us. We are planning a couple of, and if you've been listening to us, you probably know this already, but we're planning a couple of streaming events. I don't believe we're going to be doing it Thursday after next, but we'll keep watch our shorts and stuff, and we'll let you know exactly when it's going to be. But it's going to be 2 sessions on really doing streaming right, and then there's going to be a third session where Joe and I we're going to just put ourselves out there. No block. This is how we're fighting. No, we're not even blocking ourselves. It's going to be ask us anything, and that should be a whole lot of fun. So, Joe, thank you so much for being here with me, and to everyone out there in YouTube land or wherever you're watching, we thank you for joining us.
David, a quick shout out to MD Chaz, who says, cool gear, guys. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it, MD Chaz. And we appreciate, of course, Elias, Charlie, and Tom, who are our backbone today. Thanks, Absolutely. You guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, David.